Ooh.
Kenzie Mountain, Dolphin King right there.
Freaking out. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. Woo!
I love hunting moose in the rut, during the rut. Getting up close and personal with them, with a bow in my hand, calling them in. There's no other feeling like it. Right away, we had this cow come in at like 50 yards. It was just so cool. Our first encounter of the trip, and neat, man. We got moose already. It's a beautiful thing.
Welcome to the Zone. You don't want to miss this week's show. You're going to get to see James and I in some of our not so stellar moments.
That's right. Now you've all seen Tim and I cut on each other once in a while, but this week it's your chance to get a good laugh at our expense. First though, let's catch up with the Magnum Hunt Club's Gary Joseph on his quest for a moose slam with a bow.
Some moose beds here. They're big animals. Got moose beds, got droppings. They're in here. It's just really thick. When it happens, it's gonna happen quick. I've been using the Magnum Tag Draw Assistance Program for a few years now, and this year I drew a tag in Idaho, one of 10 drawn each year. I drew for a tag for a Nevada mule deer hunt. I apply for tags all over the country. A kid from New York, what do I know about drawing tags, applying for tags? It's a great tool for me and for you. Once I drew the tag, then the real work began. I had to do a lot of research. I spoke to game wardens, game biologists, and everybody I spoke to down in that section of Idaho pointed me to Gary Robson. I see. It's a decent one. Yeah, it's a bull for sure. You know, growing up in New York, all I got to hunt was white-tailed deer. I never even dreamed of rounding out a moose slam. I didn't even know what one was. My first moose was up in Alaska, up in the Brooks Range. And last year, I was fortunate enough to hunt with Canadian Mountain Outfitters up in British Columbia for Canada moose. Right there. Is that paddle? That's paddle right there. There's a bull. He's got 3 points. He's got 3 points. He's got 3 bows. Is that a good shot? Or is that a good shot, boys?
The Zone is brought to you by Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools. Thompson Center, Nikon, Blackhorn 209, Gallery of Guns, Under Armour, Real Avid, Firefly, Lethal Human Scent Elimination, and Bill Jordan's Real Tree. Family, friends, and the outdoors.
Looks like we got some beautiful weather for moose hunting.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful area. You're here in Teton Valley, southeastern Idaho. Beautiful spot. It's got the Tetons in the background. You look back over here, you got a lot of timbered area. There's some alfalfa fields. The bulls, they like to hang up in there this time of year, but they're in the rut. A lot of the cows are down here in the farm ground. There's a lot of open meadows, a lot of grassy areas, wet areas. The river comes right by there.
The moose been browsing right here. I like that. Good habitat.
Just not sure if there's a bull with her or another moose with her. That's it. That's it. That's a bull for sure. It's a decent one. We spotted this moose, and we got about 200 yards to cover. Light's fading, it's getting really late in the day. We got to make a move. I got up to 30 yards on this moose. He's on one side of the thicket, I'm on the other side of the thicket. No shot. We got to do something. Ooh. Ooh. The first thing came to my mind was to just try and do some mouth calls, moose mouth calls, and it worked. He stopped. By the time I range him, 55 yards, set my bow up, he hopped the fence and started running again. And
Good. Perfect. Outstanding. Good shot, Gary.
game over. Just like that, maybe. My Grand Slam Shiras Moose, Eastern Idaho. Nice. After I made the shot, I can't tell you the emotion that came over me, because this rounded out my moose slam, and I just never dreamed of something like this happening. I can't even begin to tell you the feeling that I had. Wow.
Well, congratulations to Gary. A moose slam with a bow, that's quite an accomplishment. But now we're going to shift gears and show you a couple hunts that, quite honestly, James and I'd like to forget, so enjoy.
But pay close attention, because at the end of the show, we're going to have a special Facebook contest where your lowest moment could turn into your biggest chance to win a huge zone prize package.
This portion of the zone is brought to you by Gobble and Grunt Outfitters.
This is a deer hunting morning, 16 below and lots of snow.
This portion of the zone is brought to you by Thermacell. Stand up to the cold.
Landed in Omaha, drove into Iowa, land of giant bucks. I don't want to miss one, so I'm going to shoot my gun once, make sure that it still shoots straight. Holy cow. Who shot this? Your uncle that owns this farm? That's a monster 4x4. Wow. Find me one like that.
Yeah, no.
All right, well, we better get this thing loaded up for one of those. Oh,
Iowa monsters. It's cold enough to make my nose run. It's cold enough to make the deer, the big bucks move. Boy, there's deer everywhere in there. Look at him come. Holy cow. There he is. I don't think so. You just gotta stick it out to the very brutal end and keep plugging away at it, and that's what we're doing. Trying some different things, adjusting and readjusting. But that's what makes Iowa great. You can't hunt with a high-powered rifle. The gun seasons are all after the rut, when they're resting like this, and you need cold weather to get those big mature bucks out. And if they don't come out, hey, they're here for next year and they're bigger yet. There's another huge deer, even bigger. There's two big ones. Look at that, big 8. Boy, he got us pinned quickly. It's an old bark buck there. If they don't start moving, we're not going to get any closer. Oh, that's my shot in Iowa.
We thought they would move down, we could get in the creek and move closer. So there's 2 more big bucks in Iowa. Season closes tomorrow. They're gonna be here next week. And that's the difference about Iowa hunting versus a lot of these other rut hunt states.
Closed captioning provided by Bog Pod, the sticks with the red grips.
Whatever you're hunting, hunt the wind with Firefly, the electronic wind detector.
Now, coastal Alaska, especially on the peninsula, is just rugged, rugged country. You're in the bear's habitat. He is definitely king out there. He's not afraid of anything. He's used to running things in his world, and you're going into that world, and you have to remember that. And something special about being out there. I mean, not only is it beautiful, but you know it is one of the truly wild places in the world. It's time to go in and have breakfast, and breakfast doesn't get any fresher than that right there. One of my favorite parts of my job with the Magnum Hunt Club is getting to do the hosted hunts. And on this trip, I was fortunate enough to have my friend Jim Bevins. He's always wanted to kill a good brown bear just like I have. we spot a bear on the far side. So we're talking about it and we decide, you know what, let's let Jimmy take off and go after it. But as they're moving toward the bear, here comes the bear moving toward them. They have no idea because there's 10-foot tall willows and alders.
He's coming, he's charging.
And sitting up there and watching this, it's getting pretty tense for us.
You're gonna have to shoot him.
Come to find out, the reason the guys didn't shoot the bear at 20 feet was because they could only see its head coming through the brush now and again. And just about the time that Paul decided it was a shooter, it wheeled around and took off through the brush. They had a heart-stopping encounter. Jim just didn't get to pull the trigger. The last couple hours of our last day, we spotted a lone bear way off, and we're trying to work our way in, see if we can find it. It's pretty thick. We haven't seen it for a while, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I can see him right there, but I don't have any shot. I can just see in here. Just that little bit of it right there. I didn't have much to shoot at, and I thought he was turning to leave. I can't believe I missed him the first time, but did either one of those hit him? Yeah. Well, what you've just seen is one of the nightmare moments of my hunting career. We put in 9 days, daylight till dark. Last hour of the last day, we get within 50 yards of a nice brown bear. A lot of hard work by a lot of people, and I blew it at the end. You know, obviously that's not what I would have happen. It's been a great trip. Got to catch a lot of fish up here, see a lot of wonderful wildlife. It's a nightmare. It's gonna be a long plane ride home to Kentucky. James, without a doubt, that is the single lowest moment of my entire hunting career. But I've got no one to blame but myself.
And neither do I. That was one of the most embarrassing misses of my life. But you know what, let's get off this before we both get depressed.
Okay, folks, let's talk about the big Facebook contest. Go to our Facebook page, send us your lowest hunting moment, and at the end of the week, we'll send out a big prize package to the fan with the best story.
So go to Facebook right now for your chance to win. And we'll see you next week right here in The Zone.
The Zone is brought to you by The Sportsman Guide, America's largest supplier of name brand hunting gear at closeout prices. The Ghost Blind, one blind, total concealment, any environment. Buck Forage Premium Seed, intense research creates amazing results. Icon Trail Cameras, Storm Black Widow quick shots from big game tree stands. The Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Barnett Crossbows, scary light and scary fast, shooting over 400 feet per second. Brownells, Gobble and Grunt Outfitters, and the Magnum Hunt Club. Your adventure starts here.